Crawford at 154. So how would Terence Crawford perform at 154? Who does he beat? Who does he have problems with? It's certainly looking like Terence Crawford may end up having to skip to 154, man. I don't think, because he said it. He said if he doesn't get the Errol fight, he's just going to move up. So, I mean, it's sad to say, but I mean, what else is he supposed to do, right? In the event that he will move up, I mean, he won't become undisputed at 147. I really wanted to see somebody become undisputed in competitive fights at 147, but it don't look like that's going to happen, anytime soon. I could be wrong. Only time will tell. We'll see. But assuming Terence Crawford gets up to 154, if the Spence fight doesn't happen, he's probably going to move up anyway. Even if he did fight Spence, Terence Crawford is going to end up moving up to 154. There's nothing else left. All the food is eaten off the plate at 147. Everybody's already devoured. All right, so besides Errol Spence and Ugas, that's it. There's nobody else there. Boots or Virgil Ortiz, they're up and coming. They're like right there. But when I mean like devoured, I mean all of the top guys. They're food already. They've been eaten up by Errol and Bud. So it is what it is. So Terence Crawford at 154. Terence Crawford, I don't know what his natural walk-around weight is. He started boxing. I think he was at what division was he at? 135. He started at. I think he started at 135. So he had a belt at 130. He had wins at. Sorry, he had belts at 135, 140, and 147. So 154 will be his fourth division. How would he do? I think Terence Crawford walk around weight maybe 100 and look like he's much smaller than Errol Spence. If they both were standing next to each other with their walk around weight, I think Errol looked like he's about 170 something, 180. I think Bud would probably max out maybe 160. So Terence Crawford is naturally the smaller guy. A lot of these dudes at 154, some of them are 168ers, dude. A lot of them, 160 pounders, some of them. So let's go through a few dudes. Who does Terence Crawford beat, and who gives Terence Crawford issues at 154? Tony Harrison. That is a easy fight, a winnable fight for Terence Crawford. I think he schools Tony Harrison, possibly sleeps him. Tony Harrison's coming up on the Chin Check series as well, so stay tuned. Well, I think Bud ices. I think it's going to be a chess match. Tony Harrison is a great fighter, dude. He can fight, bro. He's on my. I like Tony Harrison, man. Only thing with Tony Harrison, bro, he gets too fucking careless, and you can't do that. He did that with Jermell Charlo. The second fight, he had his shit in the pocket, but he tried to be brave and stand there and trade with Jermell. He doesn't have the power. He's not a pillow-fisted dude, but he doesn't have that, that power that can compete with Jermell, whatever. So he was foolish for standing there all the time, trading when he was getting tired. That was bad. He like Tony Harrison fades a lot towards the end of the fights. So he should have been trying to move around a little more. If he was going to trade with Charlo, should have been like early on in the fight. He did trade. He traded early on in the fight, and he was taking some shots, and it was wearing him down. And then later on in the fight, he got tired and complacent, and that's what cost him dearly and cost him the fight and cost him getting knocked out. So he can't do that with Bud. Bud is going to definitely exploit that, counter him, and I think Bud will probably end up knocking Tony Harrison out if they fought. Sebastian Fundura. I think that dude is at 154, right? Yeah, that tall, what is it, 6'6", 6'5"? Unusually freakish height for a boxer. That is a pretty good fight, but I think he's there to get hit, man. Bud will have to be a little careful because Fundora seems like he got some nice power to him, and them praying mantis arms and shit. could possibly hurt Bud, man. Could possibly hurt him. But I think Bud has the fundamentals. He has the IQ to evade a lot of that. He's gonna chop up. I think he'll chop Fandora's body up, man. I think he's gonna chop up his body. Not sure if he gets the knockout. It's possible. Not sure of Sebastian Fandora's chin. We will have to see. But I think that would be a pretty. I think Bud might have a few issues in that fight due to Fandora's height. But I think ultimately at the end of the day, Terence Crawford will time him and find a way to get past a lot of things with him and get him out, or just get the unanimous. Jermell Charlo, that's one fight that a lot of people are saying that's on the horizon eventually if Bud moves up. I think that's a very winnable fight for Terence Crawford. Jermell Charlo is he's limited to me. You know, he can fight, good power, but Brian Castano is kind of giving you the blueprint on how to beat Jermell Charlo. Just gotta pay attention. I think the blueprint to beat Charlo, man, is to put some pressure on him, controlled aggression, and knowing when to move in and out. And I think Terence Crawford has all of that. And once Terence Crawford feel like he hurts him, that might be a thing. We don't know if Bud can knock out Charlo. Jermell Charlo has a great chin. I've never seen him really physically hurt to the chin. So I'm not sure if Bud can hurt Jermell Charlo. That's the concern. And then Jermell Charlo has an engine. I see that fight probably, I don't think he'll knock him out. Not sure. I think it goes more like towards the cards, man. Maybe like it'll probably be a split decision. I think it'll be a good fight, but I think Terence Crawford definitely has more tools in the bag. So I would probably have to lean towards that being unanimous, man, for Terence Crawford. Who else is at 154, man? I don't know. Jarrett Hurd. That's easy work, man. Jarrett Hurd will get his ears boxed off by Terence Crawford. He's just too slow. I'm not sure why they call him Swift. There's nothing Swift about Jarrett Hurd. I don't know where that name comes from, but he ain't fast. It's funny, right? All these dudes that's got Swift in their name, Danny Swift Garcia, Jarrett Swift Hurd, none of them are fast. They slow. It's funny, right? So where they get that name Swift? They both slow as shit. Both of them got cement feet. It's crazy. So where they get the Swift from? Now, who else is up at 154, man? Shit, I don't even know who. Brian Castano. Very good fight for Bud. Relentless dude. Very good fight for Bud. How would that go, man? That one right there is a little bit, I can go either way. Bud could definitely hurt Brian Castano. I think Brian Castano can possibly hurt Bud too. But the likelihood, I think Brian Castano will end up getting hurt by Bud. I think Bud will stop Brian Castano. I think I can see Bud stopping him. Bud, man, like I said, I watched that documentary. That dude is dangerous, man. He's a scary motherfucker, dude. Dude, the way he's able to time he can see openings. It's kind of like almost like Floyd. You can see openings and then he'll just pop. You see what he did? That Kell Brook finish. The shot that started the finish to Kell Brook was just beautiful to watch, man. It was like a laser sharp. He just like, okay, there it is. Boop. And then you seen all you saw was Kell Brook. Boom. Then he was bobblehead. You know, so no, he doesn't. He beats him to J-Rock. Terence Crawford smokes J-Rock. Probably knocks him out too. Yo, I think 154 is kind of weak, man, right now. You only got, Brian Castano and maybe Jermell Charlo? Bud runs through banana. He beats Jason Rosario. He probably stop him to the body. Erickson Lubin. That might be a good one for Bud. Maybe Erickson Lubin. That one, I say the only people that will pose Terence Crawford any problems at 154 will probably be Sebastian Fundora, maybe Erickson Lubin. I can't see nobody else. Patrick Cicero gets smoked. Jason Rosario gets smoked. I think Brian Castaño gets stopped. Tony Harrison possibly gets stopped. Jamel Charlo, he gets beaten by the card on the cards. So I think it's maybe like two people that could pose a danger to Bud. But Erickson Lubin's chin is a little questionable. So I'm not even sure if I'm even right about that one. It might just be one person, and I think the only one might be, and I mean might, it might be Sebastian Fundora because of his length and his linkiness and his height. But the problem with Sebastian Fundora, he likes to fight small. He doesn't fight tall. He likes to inside fight a lot. That might be a problem for Fundora because that body's going to be there for Bud to pound on all day, all night long. So when you think about it, man, I can't really see anybody that's really going to be any threat to Terence Crawford at 154. There's a strong possibility, man. I'm going to be real. Terence Crawford will end up being undisputed at 154. There's a very strong possibility. Absolutely. If Errol Spence get to 154, we don't even know if they'll fight. We don't know if Errol will try to avoid him up there. I don't know. But if Errol doesn't get there when Bud gets there, and Bud gets there first, I think likely they'll end up being at 154 together because they're both on their way out of 147. So I can see both of them going for undisputed, Errol or Bud. But I think the likelihood, man, I think Bud will do real good at one. I think Bud gets stronger as he moves up in weight, man. It seems like it, man. It seems like it. I think maybe Bud was maybe he was a little bit more stronger at 140, man. He was doing some damage down there. 147, he doing some wreck too, but it seemed like his power is still there, but it's not as destructive as at 140. I mean, that's just my opinion. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how his power translates to 154. His power might diminish, man. We don't know, but I don't think so. I think his power will probably be equal to at 147, if not just a small bit better. I don't know. We'll see. But I think Terence Crawford will be undisputed at 154. That's my prediction. This is Rebel Life Boxing. I'll catch y'all later on the next one, and I'm off this.